Bonjour mes amis! Bienvenue to another Fangirl and Cinnamon Roll video. Je m'appelle Fangirl.
Et je m'appelle Chelsea, the cinnamon roll.
Oui.
Okay, now can we cut all this French stuff?
Oui.
And today we're going to be reading a couple more chapters of Love and Glory.
Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the first video in that series, there'll be a link to the playlist down in the description below.
But if you just want a quick summary, it takes place in Civil War in 1861 in the South, and our protagonist Susanna Butler has been taken to a place where she's going to be interrogated for details that she's a spy to the North. And while there, they gave her papers, so she's writing in her diary about when she met the love of her life, Terry Armstrong. And so when we left it at the end, after they met, he's supposed to be going to the Commodore's house in Charleston to stay there, and unbeknownst to him, he does not know that Susanna is the Commodore's daughter.
Yeah, she thinks it's real funny to fuck with him about it too.
So we're gonna see where that picks up now.
Oh, wait, before we get started though, I gotta... hang on. Okay, now we're ready.
No, we're not. I can breathe whipped cream now.
Here, you try it yourself, I'm sorry. There we go. He couldn't help it. Here we go.
It's literally the first line. He couldn't help it.
He probably could have. We did actually read both of these chapters ahead of time. We're not going to read it like word for word. Last time we went way more in depth with the chapter. This time we read 2 chapters and there's not a whole lot going on, so we're just going to kind of breeze through it. This book sucks.
Can I get an amen?
Amen!
Amen! So let's jump in and get hot and steamy and unrealistic.
Where did your fan come from?
The fangirl.
Hey!
What does he talk about here? Oh, his
Himself.
That's what, like, chicks he's been with, and then he goes into...
It's locker room talk.
And then... He's already saying, like, because Susanna's the one he's decided in his head, he's already like, I got her.
He's got her, right? Basically, he's been told by the Commodore about his daughter and how she's, like, fiery and passionate and ooh. And then he remembers, you know, like the girl he met in the field. He doesn't realize they're one person, that they're the same person. He thinks he can get them both, though, because he's just that kind of guy. He's an upstanding gentleman like that.
He annoys the crap out of me.
He's one of those guys that'll, like, love him and leave him.
He starts getting into the girls that he's conquested and, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out my list here because I made one. All the stuff that annoys me about Terrence Armstrong. These are things that I've noted on through both of these chapters, and he literally says things like conquest. He could and he did. Any woman he could. She would be doing whatever he required. He considered Susanna to be a personal challenge that he would sooner or later bed, and she would be willing to do this. He had no doubts. He talks about possessing her, claiming her. He talks about how it would take sometimes a couple weeks to bed a woman, but with her it only took an hour. Spoiler alert.
Literally.
She sees him later and he has fists clenched at his side, and she's talking about how that is threatening and also very attractive. Violence. She starts talking later and he doesn't care how long she talks, just as long as he can stare at her and not listen to a thing.
Right.
He talks about staring in her eyes and he sees a saucy little independence in there, like it's cute.
Right, yeah. It's cute to be free thinking and independent. Fuck you, Terry.
Talks about the men that she's rejected after he tells her about all of his conquests, and when she's like, oh, I've broken some hearts, and he's like, really? And he says it in a forbidding voice.
Yeah, like his face goes all business. It goes from like laughing to what?
He has no right. Double standard.
Right.
But we're riding like Susanna. Let's jump back a little.
Total strangers to instant lovers in 2 days. Not even 2 days. He met her on the field when they were splitting up the Union and the Confederacy. That was like maybe 10 minutes. Then they meet again at her dad's house at like this garden party or whatever. Another 10 minutes, and then they end up fucking in a cottage. They haven't even known each other consecutively for 1 whole day. It's ridiculous.
It's faster than Romeo and Juliet, and that's saying something.
They lasted a week. 15-year-olds in Verona have a better track record than these 2 idiots.
Let's continue with our handsome soldier and our southern belle. Like she said, literally he approaches this garden party, she's turning around talking to some guests, and the Commodore sees him, he's like, hey, she turns around and he's like, oh my gosh, it's her.
You're the same person!
Yeah, and he just introduced, he's like, so you know my daughter, and then she's like, no, I don't know him, and he's like, you know me. It's just, they just laugh, and it's just stupid for a minute.
And then like they go off, and they're like talking alone for a little bit. bit. And she tells him, she's like, it's possible. I've been waiting for you for the last 26 years. Just a chapter ago, she's talking about how she was totally okay with not marrying anybody. She was okay with like her teaching, the suffrage movement, all that stuff. Like she had things to occupy her time. She's totally okay with being alone. And then this dude shows up out of fucking nowhere and she's like, oh, my life has meaning now. Where she never alluded to that before. It makes no sense.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's what first loves are about. Don't worry, Susanna knows that too. She knows that. We'll get to that later. She understands where you're coming from, viewer, who thinks that this is perfect, and we'll get to you in a sec. So they're about to leave the party, which, by the way, is the worst thing ever. They're having a garden party. She was talking to guests, then she tells them shh. She talks to him. She's like, oh, and then he just takes her away, and they walk to a shed, and she just leaves the garden party. Doesn't even say bye.
She said that to her father.
Yeah.
Like, she looks at her father, she's like, that's her father that she's telling to fuck off while she goes off with this dude in the middle of a party.
No decorum. That's nice, Susanna.
Yeah, what a lady.
So she's taking him to a shed that talks, and he's like, I think you're one of those believes in love at first sight kind of people, and she's like, I think I might be.
You think? You think?
Forget it.
Moving on. Oh yeah, so they're talking for a little bit and she's getting flustered and like trembling and he's like, do not be afraid of me. Shall we talk now a while or after? And she's like, after what, sir? Dinner. What did you think I meant?
And he smiles broadly, like he knew what he was doing. I'm like, and I was like, I'll give you props for that.
Right.
That's nice.
She's
I
like,
probably would have said that too.
What did you think I meant? Oh, you thought. No, it isn't you I'm afraid of, only myself. And like, you should be afraid of yourself if this is your thought process upon meeting somebody only twice for like 10 minutes per. You take a stab at this, I can't.
Now here it goes. So literally she's getting all frantic in speech. She's not making any sense. And he's basically like, shh, and he's like, your eyes say it all. Shh. And so she shuts up and he's like, I want to kiss you too. He goes in, they're diving in, they're kissing. And then suddenly he backs up and he's like, boundaries, yo. He's like, no, I can't get too into this. She unsheaths his sword. Not a euphemism. She actually pulls out his sword.
Like he's carrying a sword.
And she touches it to her lips. And he throws caution to the wind. He's like, we're doing it right now.
Right.
And he takes her.
No mind to the fact that her father is like 30 yards away.
Hard eyes a go now. So they're just undressing each other. And so his shirt comes off and then she breathes this line.
Oh, the muscles ripple so. Because like she doesn't know that when somebody breathes, their body moves.
Now he's claiming possession of her. And she's like, I knew I was ready. So, sex. Boom. Chapter 3.
God, the opening line. I wanted just a kiss. I only came out here to kiss you.
What a thirsty liar.
What it?
Both of them.
Oh, they're naked in bed together. He's like, well, that was unexpected.
You could have stopped it, but she pulled out your sword. And you were like, Go, people. Just pull out his sword and touch it to your mouth. I know what I'm doing.
We are professional. So they're talking, they're pillow talk. They're going back and forth. She's like, how shocked my beautiful and mannerly mama would be. Shocked, but not surprised.
He turns to her and he's like, why not surprised? With an eyebrow arched, and all I can think of is Gaston.
Her mom is basically telling her a lot of like what her, like she agrees with Susanna's father. Women should only learn so much and they should only be so informed and educated. Yeah. But at the same time, she's talking about how you need to be able to have that man wrapped around your little finger. You need to be able to like run your household and all that and like run him, but he doesn't know you're running him, and like sneaky feminism and all that. But like
sneaky feminism.
It is, but it contradicts itself. Her mom wouldn't be surprised that she went off and, fucked her man in the cottage after knowing him for 10 minutes because, that's just how Susanna is. That's just her being her. She's so high-spirited and so free-thinking.
Whatever.
She says she's a lot like her mother.
I'm coming here to interrupt this little mama drama for a little dick joke I think that Armstrong put in here, saying how different she is than her mom, like actually characteristics wise, and then she suddenly is like, also I'm taller.
Right.
And he's like about 6 inches taller, I'd say. And I'm like,
what?
It's just the stuff they say. So now she's breaking it to us that her and Will Chauvenet are no longer engaged. when did this happen? It's maybe been a week or two, and now their thing's called off. I wanted to meet him.
Yeah, I know. We still haven't met him.
Again, another joke. She just brings up one of the guys she rejected. His name was Beverly Bland.
That's really on the nose, too. Of all the names they could have given it, Bland.
And apparently he was irresistible to all women, like Gaston.
Except Susanna.
Like Belle. And then a literal gag. I am glad I waited so long for you, Terry Armstrong, for the pleasure you've just given me.
She was totally cool with not having a man.
The tardy Detective Baker. So he's actually supposed to be that
tardy. Yeah, we get back to her being in the Capitol cell waiting to be interrogated. Napoleon Baker still hasn't showed up to interrogate her yet.
He's late.
He's so late.
So now she continues with the writing, saying, I was so pleased to have been saved from withering, virginal, and unloved. So impressed with my own generosity, with what I had so magnanimously done, given myself to a man. So here's the part I said for you viewers out there who are like, oh, this love at first sight stuff, it's cool, like, you meet him, you fall in love, that can happen. Okay, well, she even remarks here, though, however, after I had just been taken, body and heart, by my first love and only love, I behaved as many other women have before me, and many, many will after.
Like a damn fool!
Preach!
People always do crazy things when they're in love. Fuck you.
Interruption here. Now he and her father.
Oh, yeah, they're both comparing her to a fucking horse. She has, like, this fiery spirit and, like, she's untamable. Like a horse. She has this, like, nervous habit where she tosses her hair as if a mare tosses its mane when it's agitated. And he even says it. He's like, when you do that with your hair and it catches the lamplight, you put me in mind of a little Janae filly I used to own, of a lovely copper shade. She says, funny, Papa says the same thing. Let's continue on. Do we have to continue on?
She's just rubbed his shoulders down. They're laying in bed, and now he's decided, he's like, so extraordinary that I met you, I like you and all that. And she's like, yeah, me too, me too, me too. And then she's like, by the way, have you noticed that neither of us are using the word love?
No fucking way!
This is only your second meeting? I mean, sure, if you want to hook up on the first time, go for it. But trust me,
that's not love!
Don't use the word love yet. She's stupid.
Sex does not equal love.
It continues, and he's like, well, no. And then he's like, my wife died. I need you to know, by the way, that I'm never going to love anyone else but her. He's like, can you understand that? And I was like, could you have told her that before you slept with her?
Thank you.
But he didn't. You just didn't.
Well, no, because he knew it would have been a deal breaker, because she would have walked away.
You're a pig, Terry Armstrong. He says like this, you good? You okay with that? And she's like, oh yes, of course I do. I understand completely. She said, loving him terribly.
And she says too, she's like, oh, I can change him. I can save him.
Every woman, man.
Your first problem was sleeping with him in the first place after you only knew him for 20 minutes. Your second problem is thinking you can fix him. You can't.
You can't fix people, guys. You can help them. You don't fix them.
You can feel sorry for them. You can want to help them, but they're still them. So yeah, they talk for a little bit. They go over his dead wife, and then they fuck again. And they sleep again.
And then she wakes up to find him in a rocking chair, smoking his pipe, watching her sleep.
Naked in the freaking rocking chair.
So the ending of the chapter, cliffhanger.
Susanna, I'm going to ask you to marry me, Terry said, and she managed to respond, dumbfounded as she was. When, ... are you going to ... ask me that? I'm pretty sure he just did.
I just love that. Him, I'm not gonna love you, has sex again? Baby, I'm gonna ask you to marry me at some point, though. Wait, what? But this book!
This book! And that wraps up the chapter.
So predictions. I am still waiting for my barn sex scene.
Well,
this was a shed, close, but...
Close, but no cigar. I think she's gonna say yes. Once she gets over the initial shock of, oh, we had sex twice, and then you ask me to marry. Really?
Pretty sure it's like a business deal, like together, like uniting foreign lands to like conquer all. Do you think the Commodore and the mom are gonna be okay with it and they know?
I think they're gonna ship it. Will Chauvin needs to show up.
We need to meet the jilted Gaston lover, Beverly Bland.
And we need to meet Napoleon Baker because he still hasn't shown up and it's been 3 chapters. I'm not looking forward to reading chapter 4 at all.
But hopefully you want to see chapter 4 and you'll stick around for our next video.
If you want to see that video and you want to know when it comes out next, you can subscribe to us down below. If you like this video, you can like it and comment, tell us what you thought, and share the video. And if you want to see more of me, I have my own channel, the link to which will be below. I read my own shitty romance novel. We're actually going to be reading Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined. Again, we're getting back to that.
We do more than just read books and do shots, so we will have some new and interesting videos coming at you
Very
soon in the coming
yeah.
months.
But thank you for watching this video. Until next time, I have been Miranda the Fangirl.
I've been Chelsea the Cinnamon Roll.
Au revoir!
Oh, we're done.
Thank God!